Morning. Thank you, Patricia, for the generous introduction, and Dina Brill for the warm invitation. President Echeverria, trustees, faculty, thank you for your leadership of this great institution. And to all the moms out there, especially my wife, Maria, happy early Mother's Day. And most importantly, to the University of Miami School of Law, class of 2025, congratulations. Graduates, when I look out at each of you, I feel a real connection. And that's because I know we share something, a genuine attachment to this special community. For the past few years, I've come down from Del Rey to teach in Mark Tressman and Greg Levy's class on leadership. As they can attest, each year I've made it a point to arrive earlier and stay longer to soak in your camaraderie on the bricks, and later over a few beers at the Rat. It's been so inspiring to witness you bantering around those round tables, tussling over ideas with faculty. And what's been most inspiring is how you do this, all in the spirit of striving together, pushing each other, taking pride in each other's success. So once more, class of 2025, I congratulate you, and I celebrate you. I celebrate your dedication and discipline that brought you to this special day, and I celebrate your decision to join this noble profession, the law, especially now. That said, I have one message for you. Do not strive to be just a lawyer, not even a great lawyer. Instead, try to become a great leader who practices law. I offer this to you as both the most principled and practical advice I can, informed by my own journey in and around the legal arena. Believe it or not, my entrepreneurial journey started with a buddy and a bucket of soap, washing Lionel Richie's cars several years back. Back then, I was an undistinguished student. I struggled with dyslexia. A few days before the start of college, I wrote a hardship letter to UCLA. I explained that I needed to pay for college and that the only way I could do that was by staying in Los Angeles so that I could continue to wash Lionel Richie's cars. True story. And since UCLA already admitted my car detailing partner, they should admit me too. Amazingly, they did, provided that I enroll in remedial English. And because I was accepted so late, there was literally just one open class left: moral philosophy. A course so undersubscribed it was a test of moral courage itself just to enroll in it. But I fell in love with philosophy. With the encouragement of caring professors, philosophy helped me overcome dyslexia. Philosophy transformed my seeming curse into a blessing, rewarding me for the careful consideration of just one idea. And it armed me with the three most important tools in a lawyer's toolkit: clarity, clarity, and more clarity. Fast forward to law school. I was at a big firm, O'Melveny & Myers. I had great reverence for the law. But as I toiled away, billing by the hour on topics I knew little about, I began to think about disrupting the business of law with a company that would democratize legal knowledge by offering fixed-price legal research through a network of legal experts. 7 days after we opened our doors, the Wall Street Journal ran a front-page story calling my idea revolutionary. They thought our 800 number, 1-800-LAW memo, was pretty clever. So they included it, and we got 3,000 phone calls in a matter of days. But then, the American lawyer jumped in with a profile, describing me as a brash, rookie lawyer with a persuasive spiel, elbowing his way and peppering his speech with buzzwords. They titled the story, "Should You Be Afraid of This Man?" and mocked my double-breasted houndstooth suit and butterscotch shoes. Not exactly the ideal introduction to a conservative profession. We didn't hit our revenue targets once in our first 6 years, but I persisted. I'll spare you the full roller coaster, except to say, I kept going because I found myself in the grip of one idea that would define my life's philosophy and guide my entire career. In a word, how. Not as in, how's it going, buddy? Or how many hours did you build this year? I mean the noun, as in how matters, because how we do anything means everything. Or as Justice Potter Stewart put it, there's a difference between doing that which one has a right to do and that which is right to do. In other words, there's a critical distinction between what you can do and what you should do. Graduates, for decades through my company and institute, my colleagues and I have helped leaders get their house right and build winning cultures that inspire people to go beyond what they can do and focus on what they should do. I must tell you, I feel blessed and honored too to be standing here today, 33 years after I graduated law school, and on this first day of your own journeys as legal professionals. And I've learned two things about professional journeys that I think apply to you. First, journeys are paradoxical. Like happiness, if you pursue professional success directly, it will today increasingly elude you. But when you pursue significance by passionately serving others, success tends to find you. The second thing I've learned about professional journeys is like life. They are curvilinear. They too go up and down. There was once a time when you could land that perfect first job, put your head down, work hard, and climb straight to partner. Not anymore. Linearity is over. In my career, I had to get good at going up and down every 10 years. You're going to have to get good at going up and down every 10 minutes, every 10 tweets, even every 10 tariffs. But that's okay. It really is, because smooth seas have never made a great sailor. And the same is true for leadership and leaders. Now, leadership isn't just about responding to the headlines in our turbulent world. It's even more so about making sense of the underlying trend lines and forging a purposeful path ahead. That said, I would be remiss to not at least note that law firms themselves are in the headlines, caught between their oath to the rule of law, client interests, and political dynamics that test the boundaries of our legal system. I'd also be remiss if I did not acknowledge that the world is coming at us fast, and AI even faster. So here's the most counterintuitive thing I will say to you today. The faster the world gets, the more that comes at you, the more digitally assaulted and FOMO you might feel, the more important it is to pause. You see, when you hit the pause button on a machine, it stops. But when we pause as human beings, we begin. In the pause, we reflect, we reconnect with our values, we rethink assumptions, and we then reimagine better approaches. So I'd like to pause with you for a moment and reflect together. There are three powerful trend lines profoundly reshaping our world, and each points to why I urged you to become a leader in the law. First, we've gone from interconnected to interdependent. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that we rise and fall together. And this leads to the second trend line. The philosopher David Hume said that the moral imagination diminishes with distance. So as distance decreases, our moral imagination increases. We now live in a zero-distance world. With one click, we feel the dreams, plights, and behaviors of people oceans away, viscerally, on tiny screens in our hands. And I get it. We all want to stand out. My generation did it through conspicuous consumption. You know, work hard and buy that Ferrari. Yours? Through conspicuous expression. Become a TikTok influencer. Build a movement. Go viral with your voice. In our zero-distance world of conspicuous expression, our only good choice is to initiate conversations that build common ground even amid disagreement, and to stand out, but with a constructive voice. And if all of that weren't challenging enough, you will be making these choices during a once-in-a-500-year revolution. Trend line number 3. A few centuries ago, the Enlightenment ushered in the age of reason. The scientific method, modern democracy, capitalism, and the radical idea that every individual has rights, even the right to pursue happiness. We decided that what made us human was our intelligence. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." But now, AI is forcing us back to the drawing board. If we no longer have a monopoly on intelligence, then what does it mean to be human? And in a world where AI can draft contracts, analyze cases, even predict rulings, what will it mean to be a lawyer? If you ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek what they can't replace, they will tell you. Ethical responsibility, moral reasoning, trusted human relationships. In other words, an algorithm can do the next thing right, but only a human being can do the next right thing. Our interdependent, zero-distance world of conspicuous expression and artificial intelligence leads to one inescapable conclusion. While how has always mattered, it now matters more than ever and in ways it never has before. And all of this brings me to the greatest leadership challenge of the 21st century. How do we, and how will you, as lawyers, help us move from a world primarily administered by can to a world more fundamentally administered by should? Let me explain. The world, especially our country, whose institutions are defined and legitimated by law, would not work without formal authority. Just imagine universities without presidents, companies without CEOs and general counsel, teams without coaches, courts without judges. Chaos would reign. But what makes institutions really work, and what society needs now more than ever, is for leaders with moral authority to occupy positions of formal authority. Formal authority could be bestowed, seized, locked up with supermajority shares. Moral authority must be earned by who you are and how you lead. Formal authority is about wielding power over people. The currency of formal authority, therefore, is coercion and motivation. You know the stick, like the fear of being fired, reminds people of what they can't do. The carrot, as in, say, Bill, baby Bill, encourages more of what they can do. Moral authority, on the other hand, is about generating power through people, based on what they should do. The currency of moral authority is inspiration. Whereas coercion and motivation happen to you, some things, like taking responsibility, caring, courageously speaking out, acting honorably and fairly, however inconvenient or unpopular, can only be inspired because they happen in you, where our values like integrity, truth, and empathy reside. In many ways, formal authority is the province of lawyers. As officers of the court, you will hold greater formal authority than 99% of citizens. And when you grow your legal expertise and become recognized legal experts, you will certainly inspire confidence in your capability. But when you earn moral authority, you will inspire trust in your character. And that's why you are uniquely positioned to not just excel at both formal and moral authority, but to help others navigate the interplay between them. A virtuous spiral awaits you. Lead with moral authority, and you'll be granted formal authority. Wield it well, and you'll be granted more. Do it again, and more will follow. Now, moral authority isn't a status to achieve, but rather a call you hear. It's a lifelong journey you pursue, sharpened by the questions you ask yourself in each pause along the way. It was my son Lev who reminded me of the inner clarity that comes from asking questions of yourself. One morning when he was 7, I drove off to work without kissing him goodbye. He called and calmly and pointedly asked and said, "Daddy, what kind of father doesn't kiss his son goodbye?" He made it a matter of character. And I now ask myself this question and others like it every day as I try to become and be a better father and person. Here's my version of that question for lawyers. What kind of lawyer only asks what they can do and not what they should do? So I ask you, graduates, what kind of lawyer will you be? Let me tell you how my friend Rick Boothman answered that question. Rick was a trial lawyer who defended malpractice cases at the University of Michigan health system, or for them. He deployed the conventional playbook, deny and defend. He won many cases, but the more he won, the worse he felt. So he paused and reimagined a change. When a doctor made a mistake, he encouraged them to do something radical, to apologize. Imagine that. Many colleagues resisted. If we apologize, it's an admission of guilt, it's legal suicide. But the doctors embraced it. Apologizing aligned with their oath to heal. So Rick persisted, and together they transcended the can and they reached for the should. They sparked a should renaissance in Ann Arbor. Malpractice claims and defense costs dropped by 50%. That's incredible. Patient outcomes improved as doctors were free to learn from mistakes and focus on healing, not hiding. Other hospitals followed. States passed laws protecting doctor apologies from being used in court. All because Rick chose to be more than a great lawyer. He became the conscience of his organization, a custodian of its values, and a coach and counselor to his clients. In short, a moral leader in the law. So how do you become a conscience custodian, coach, and counselor? Start by viewing humility. By viewing humility not as a weakness, not as something you signify, but as a strength you embody. Now, it isn't the conception of lawyering we often celebrate. What do we call a top-notch attorney? Oh, he's a killer. Don't get me wrong, winning is great, especially in our adversarial system. But great lawyers want to win big. And they do that by doing the right things for the right reasons. When parents tell their kids, just say you're sorry, they're teaching a verbal escape route. And when doctors are told the same, they actually get sued more because they didn't mean it. There's an adage that only that which comes from the heart enters the heart. So the Michigan doctors apologized only when they were wrong. But when they were right, they stood on principle and earned a reputation for integrity so strong that cases were dropped when they chose to fight. Doing the hard work of creating this kind of moral clarity, that takes humility. I'm not suggesting you think less of yourself, but that you think of yourself less. And when you do, your phone won't just ring when somebody else determines there's a legal issue. It will ring every time there's an important issue, because you will be the first person who comes to mind. And that's why humility is your superpower. The confidence that this superpower generates can springboard you from defense to offense. Lawyers are often viewed as goalkeepers, there to keep the company out of trouble. You know, keep the SEC off our backs and leave the rest to us. That's important work. But world-class goalies focus on culture, on how the whole team plays and keeps the ball on offense. Early in my career, I was hired to create courses on the rules of careful communications. But I paused. Telling people to be careful is actually insulting. It treats them and their words as liabilities. So I reimagined it and pitched some general counsel a new approach, respectful communications. We built a course that has since reached over 50 million employees in over 100 countries. And here's what became clear. When you're respectful, you're naturally careful. And you can simultaneously lean into the world, build trust, and outbehave the competition, so long as you take the value of respect with you. Unlike rules, which keep the ball out of the gutter, values do double duty. They keep the ball out of the gutter while guiding it towards the strike. They don't just restrain the can't, they inspire the should. Another way to outbehave the competition, performance-enhancing drugs. That's right, you heard me, performance-enhancing drugs. The best leaders in the law are drug dealers. I'm not talking Miami Vice. I'm talking about the only legal performance-enhancing drug, trust. When I extend trust to you, your brain releases oxytocin, the neurochemical of human connection and bonding. So I'm not talking about trust but verify, not even trust and verify. The virtue of trust lies with the person who thoughtfully gives it away. Take Domino's Pizza. Many of you probably fueled study sessions with Domino's Pizza, right? But some years ago, Domino's was struggling. So they did something bold. They ran ads. Our pizza sucks. And posted videos of their executives admitting this stuff tastes like cardboard. Like the Michigan doctors, they trusted people with the truth and embarked on a journey to get better. Today, they're the top-selling pizza chain in our country. As lawyers, you will be paid to write bulletproof contracts. That's formal authority. But leadership? That's coaching your clients to build the trust that keeps those contracts in the drawer. And when it's decision time, don't ask, whose call is it, emphasizing the formal authority of decision rights. Instead, trust your colleagues and ask, what's the right call? Drawing on their moral authority. And if the decision involves justice, counsel that justice is not a nail to be hammered, but a scale to be balanced. And if it's efficiency you're after, coach them on how to wield a scalpel rather than swing a wrecking ball. And show them that you can, in fact, move fast and not break things. And when you do, they will extend trust right back at you. So class of 2025, if I were to pull this all together for you in one sentence, admittedly a long one, here it goes. Being a great leader in the law means unlocking the should by embracing humility as a superpower, going on offense with values, dealing trust like a legal performance-enhancing drug, and harmonizing your formal and moral authority by mixing a powerful cocktail of coercion, motivation, and inspiration. Let me give you one final metaphor for what this kind of leadership looks like in action. Something that happens in this very arena. I'm talking about the wave. You know, ocean waves are energy, but waves in arenas and stadiums, that's human energy. Turns out it only takes 12 to 20 people, you know, spirited students, a few soccer moms and dads to start one. But think about it. You can't coerce a wave. Stand up or I'll punch you because you over there are safe, outside my reach. You can't motivate a wave. Here's $20 to stand up. That would be around 160 grand in this arena. Pretty steep, and that's just to stand up once. The wave is the ultimate inspired act of leadership and community. Anybody here want to start a wave for our graduates? Anybody here want to show them our support? Huh? Anybody here? Can we have it go around a few times? All right. All right. It's amazing the energy we feel when we rise together. But we felt a unity here because we're all here for you. But out in the world, I want you to know one more thing about waves. They're so powerful that even if you come to root for the other side, you still stand up. And once a wave goes around 3 times, you forget where it started. It becomes our wave. So keep that in mind. And so, class of 2025, when you get out there, start your journey with a pause. And in that pause, hear your call of leadership. Then find your 12 to 20 people and count me as one of them. Help them find another dozen. And then strive together to inspire waves worth standing for. I wish you significance and in turn, much success. Congratulations. Go Canes. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know how many of you saw formal authority, moral authority, the wave coming. But that was outstanding, Dov. Thank you for the kind words and the inspiration. So well done. Well done.